Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to PBTV. I'm Stu, and we're here on YouTube and Facebook. We've covered these and this brand before, but we've never actually brought one of the super tactical ones out. So this is the Double Eagle Type 870 M8874. So the sort of code at the end is the sort of model number. So this is the 8874. We've had loads of different other ones out that have solid stocks, compact Super CQB ones, the Sheriff style one with the sort of classic police style stock. But I thought I'd get this out because it is super interesting, super cool, and it is about as tactical as you can get with a shotgun. So, as always, drop your comments down below if there's anything to do with this that you would like to speak about. We'll flash it up on screen, and we'll try and answer it as quickly as possible. So I'll start front to back and try and cover as much as I can. But as always, if you want to interrupt, just drop me a question. On the front, obviously, there are no threaded front ends on this, so there's no way of putting a tracer unit or anything like that inherently. I know people have, and they've sort of made their own like 3D prints and things like that, but commercially they are not a real thing, unfortunately. It does have the extended tube on the bottom. Again, these are just for show. It doesn't add any extra capacity to the platform. So the normal one ends about here. They've put the extra tube on, and I kind of prefer it when the load tube matches the barrel. I think it's a bit neater, and it's just a bit more aesthetic. As you can see, there's a little gold pin here on this platform. Not overly useful because that is the front iron sight. On this one, they've put the heat shield and the Riz section all across the top, and they've included flip up front and rear sort of slightly more tactical sights. So you have a pin at the front that you can adjust for elevation and a aperture at the back that you can adjust for windage. It's a shotgun. You're not really going to be adjusting your iron sights that much because this thing does have 3 and 6 shot, which is extremely cool. Most people, you're going to put like an XPS or a holographic T1, something like that on here, but you do have plenty of options with this entire single piece of Riz here. You could put a magnifier on it, you could put a T1 on it, you could put a PEC box on the front. You have basically all the options that you can think of. On the right hand side here, you can see just that little circle there. That is a QD Sling Mount. On this side, we have a matching one, and it does come with the little pin, the sort of link bit on there. And then on the back here, you can see another circle there. And again, on this side, they do include 2 of the QD sling points in case you're just using a strap of your own. If you do want to get a QD sling, they will click straight in. If you want to do it slightly differently, on the M4 stock, there is another sling point just back here. So it does have the standard pump on the bottom. I do prefer these to the sort of M-Lock or the key mod style pumps. They're just a bit comfier. You're not trying to rack metal all day. That can be quite sharp, but again, once it's got rails and things on it, it is absolutely fine. ODST on YouTube. How easy it is to pump. Absolutely dead easy. There is no spring to fight against because this is gas. So normally on the Springer shotguns, you're trying to recock the piston inside it. On this, all you're doing is pulling the arms back and pushing it forward. So there is almost no resistance to the pump. It is about as close to the real thing as you can possibly get. So when it is back inside the slide door here, there is a 6 and a 3. So this does have 3 BB and 6 BB shot. The shells themselves are 30, so it's a choice between 5 or 10 shots. Personally, I'd stick to the 3 shots. It's accurate enough. It's got a decent enough spread. The 6 shot, you're just getting less shots out of a shell. It is a lot of fun, but you are going to lose a little bit of range and maybe a little bit of FPS trying to push out all that plastic. Stick to the 3. You're going to get 10 shots out of each shell, and you'll be good to go. I do believe you'll probably get a few more gas shots out of it. Speaking of gas, this entire stock tube is your gas reservoir. So normally you have the sliding, click-in plate style ones. This is a full stock. These hold way more than the old sort of plate ones that you see in the Sheriff style platforms. It just keeps taking gas just constantly. It can take a while to top up at the start of the day, but once it's topped up, you can just keep going, and make sure you've got gas all day. Control-wise, so we do have a safety just where my finger is now. It's currently on safe. Pushing it all the way through, it is now on fire, and again, pushing it back, it is on safe. On the left-hand side, on my side, just in front of the trigger guard, the door opens up, and this is where we put our 30-round shell. So again, these are filled with a speed loader, nice and easy, 30 rounds, so you're going to get 5 or 10 shots. It clicks in place and drops out. With these, when you do open the door, if you pull it a little bit more, it does actually kick the shell out, which is a really, really cool feature. Some shotguns, you've got to try and wangle it and pull it out yourself, but throwing it out is really, really easy for you to grab one out of the 6 shell holder that is on the side. There's a little rubber seal on the inside of this, and that's what holds the shotguns in. It's just a little bit of pressure, so there's nothing latching them out like that, so you can just pull them straight out very, very easily. A lot of people always ask, can this take the drum mag? Yes, it can. You do have to remove the door. Again, it's not a difficult task to do. Once it's open, you just click it out, and your electric drum mag will fit in this, meaning that you can just keep going all day. So as we've said, it does have the M4 style stock on this. So you've got 6 positions on the back of here and a standard sort of AR style pistol grip. Because this is a gas version, there's no motor in here like you normally see with AEGs and things like that. So this is a gas blowback AR style grip. So if there are other styles that you've seen out there, you want to swap it out, you can do as long as you use gas blowback style ones. So these things are coming out at about 320-ish FPS on 3 rounds. I didn't test it on 6, unfortunately. But yeah, so sat at that perfect sweet spot. A lot of people see shotguns as CQB platforms, but I've run one of these outside, and the range is silly, which is why we keep saying stick it to 3, because you're going to get more rounds out of each shell. This one in particular sits about that 3 kilo mark, so this is probably the biggest and heaviest one of the Double Eagle shotguns. So you've got all this metal work on it, you've got the holder on the side, you've got the full M4 style gas cylinder, you've got the extended tube. So this is about as heavy as it's going to get, and 3 kilos doesn't feel like much when you're wielding this thing around. It is quite long, so you're sitting at about 85, 87 centimeters long, and then when it's all the way out, it's about 95. So not the best one of these for CQB, but by all means not unusable. I know a lot of people that like to drop the stock all the way down and just run around and have loads of fun with this. Drop a canted system on the side, a laser and an optic, you're going to have a ton of fun with it. But as I've said, I definitely stick to the 3 rounds, especially CQB, when you're running that 6-shot. And again, check your site. I know a couple of CQB sites that are local to us. They don't allow the 6-shot version because it's unnecessary. Sticking to the 3, you're going to get 10 shots out of each shell. If you've got the drum mag in it, you're just going to keep shooting all day. But it's just a little bit safer and a little bit more friendly for the guy down range. Hop-wise, it is a fixed hop, so 2s, 2.5s. I don't know if these are going to correctly hop 2.8s, but as always, you can test it out and just see how you feel. But it is a fixed hop, so once you get the right weight BBs, just stick to it. You're going to have a load of fun. But very happy to get these back. They have been out a while, but we've just had a chunk of these arrive, so if you do want one, get it now. It will be very, very cool. You're not going to be disappointed. It is definitely TM compatible if there's any of them bits that you've seen out there that you want to know whether or not it works or not, but this thing has everything already. I prefer this kind of the plastic pump system. I quite like this rail heat shield system that they've got on top with the optics. Probably throw an XPS, maybe a D-bal or a laser on the front, and just have loads of fun with it, because when it comes to lasers and things, you just have to be roughly in the right place. A torch on this is also an excellent sort of aiming device. If you have a canter torch on this, if you come around a corner and hit that torch, wherever that light splashes, a BB is going to hit. So it's definitely a good way to set these up. Paul Eastwood, does it take most brands of shells? Yes, absolutely. So the easiest way to tell with when you're looking at shotgun shells is there's 2 different types of shells, and basically the difference is the size of the hole in here. These are the wide types, so these are more likely to accept all the other style of shells, meaning that anything is going to fit in here and work very, very efficiently. Again, as I said earlier, if all those people that have seen the shotgun drum mag, it does fit in. Once you've removed the shell door here, there are 2 shoulder pieces on the side of the drum mag at the top. They just click off. There's no tools or anything. They just slide off, and it will click in, and you are good to go. So you'll have 2,500 rounds in one of these. Yeah, whether or not you want to make friends whilst doing that, that is entirely up to you, but you're definitely going to have a lot of fun with it. Comes with the iron sights already, but if you're going to drop a T1, an XPS or something, throw a maul on the front of it, it'll be very, very cool. But these are here with us now. To fill it with gas, I didn't mention that, there is a little Schrader valve there, so that is where the gas fills in. Just flip it over, stick your gas can on there, and it will fill. The first time you fill it at the start of the day, if it is completely empty, it does take a long time, so listen to your can, however you want to do it. Just make sure it does fully equalise and it stops making that little hissing noise inside the can, and then this thing is full. It's not necessarily important to make sure it's fully charged, but it just means that you can run around for a lot longer. So if there's any final questions, please drop them down below, and we will... Oh, we've got some more. Dan on Facebook, what gas does she need? So I tested this on ASG Ultra Air, the sort of brownish cans, and on 3-shot with 0.2s, it did 320 FPS, which is perfectly acceptable. It is a little bit cold in here, but the way that this system works, I don't think it's going to be that affected by temperature. I think the only thing you're going to get is, if it does get very, very cold, you're going to get less shots out of the gas reservoir. But FPS-wise, I reckon it's going to stay very much the same. But great talk to you all, as always. So this is the Double Eagle Type 870 M8874. The 8874 is the specific model number. There are loads of different types of it. If you want in the Sheriff style stock, the collapsed one where it's just a pistol grip and all that kind of stuff, shorter versions, CQB versions, there are loads out there. So if you don't really like this one, there will be one out there for you. But it's always great to speak to you. We will be back again on Friday with another live stream at about 4 p.m. So if you want to join us then, by all means do. And then look forward to next week, where there's lots and lots of very, very, very cool things happening. So make sure you've got the bell on and you're subscribed on both YouTube and Facebook. But until then, I'll see you in a bit.